It's in your oat milk. It's in your organic yogurt. It's in your infant formula. And scientists have been arguing about whether it's safe for over 50 years, with no clear resolution in sight. Today we examine Carrageenan, what it actually is, why it's so controversial, and what the evidence actually says. Quick note before we start, this video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes, especially if you have a digestive condition. Welcome to IngredientVerdict, where we examine one ingredient at a time, no hype, just the evidence. Carrageenan is one of the most debated food additives on the market. Regulators say it's safe. A group of researchers say it damages your gut. Clean label advocates say avoid it entirely. The truth, as usual, is more nuanced than any of those positions. Let's start with what Carrageenan actually is. Carrageenan is a polysaccharide, a type of carbohydrate, extracted from red seaweed, particularly varieties known as Irish moss. It's been used in traditional food preparation for hundreds of years, particularly in Ireland and parts of Asia, where seaweed has long been a dietary staple. In modern food production, Carrageenan serves as a thickener, emulsifier and stabilizer. It's what gives plant-based milks their creamy consistency, what keeps the whey from separating in yogurt, what gives deli meats their texture, and what prevents ice cream from developing ice crystals. It's extraordinarily useful from a food manufacturing perspective, which is why it appears in thousands of products, including many labeled organic or natural. The controversy around Carrageenan is not new. It dates back to the late 1960s, when a research group began publishing studies suggesting that Carrageenan caused intestinal inflammation and ulceration in animal models. Those findings set off a debate that has never fully resolved. To understand the controversy, you need to understand one critical distinction: the difference between Carrageenan and poligeenan. Poligeenan, sometimes called degraded Carrageenan, is produced when Carrageenan is exposed to very strong acid, pH between 0.9 and 1.3, combined with temperatures above 80 degrees Celsius for several hours. These are conditions that don't occur in normal food processing, and the evidence suggests they don't occur in the human digestive tract either. Poligeenan is genuinely harmful. Animal studies have consistently shown it causes intestinal damage, inflammation and tumor formation. The key question is whether food-grade Carrageenan degrades into poligeenan in the human gut. This is the crux of the entire debate, and it remains genuinely unresolved. Those who argue Carrageenan is dangerous say, the acid environment of the stomach can partially degrade Carrageenan into poligeenan, and animal studies using Carrageenan, not just poligeenan, have shown inflammatory effects in the intestine. Those who argue Carrageenan is safe say, the degradation conditions required to produce poligeenan are far more extreme than anything that occurs in the human digestive tract, and a 2024 review found that 98 to 100% of Carrageenan is excreted without significant degradation. They also point out that the animal studies used doses far higher than typical human dietary exposure. Both sides have published peer-reviewed research. Both sides have credentialed scientists. This is a genuine scientific disagreement, not a case of corporate interests versus independent researchers, though that narrative exists in some corners of the internet. So what does the most recent evidence show? A 2024 animal study found that mice consuming Carrageenan at doses representing maximum level exposure for children showed altered gut immunity and oxidative stress. The researchers also found that the gut microbiome's ability to degrade Carrageenan varied between individual animals, suggesting that individual gut composition may determine how someone responds to Carrageenan. This finding is supported by a randomized controlled human trial, also published in 2024, which found that Carrageenan supplementation over 2 weeks was associated with altered gut microbiome composition in healthy young men, though the clinical significance of these changes requires further research. This is an important finding because it suggests the same additive may be harmless for most people and problematic for others. A large epidemiological study involving over 100,000 participants, published in 2024, found an association between higher carrageenan intake and increased risk of type 2 diabetes. This was the first large human study to examine this relationship. The association existed even after adjusting for overall diet quality. However, it's an observational study. It shows correlation, not causation, and the authors explicitly called for more research before drawing firm conclusions. On the regulatory side, EFSA is currently conducting a full re-evaluation of carrageenan safety. The carrageenan industry has submitted substantial data packages in 2022, 2023, 2024 and 2025. No new determination has been issued yet, but the fact that EFSA is actively reviewing it signals that the question is not considered settled. In the United States, carrageenan remains FDA approved as GRA. In 2016, an advisory committee to the U.S. National Organic Program recommended banning carrageenan from organic foods, but the USDA rejected that recommendation. The next reconsideration is scheduled for 2028. Who should be most cautious about carrageenan? The emerging picture from the research suggests that people with existing inflammatory bowel conditions, such as Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis or IBS, may be more sensitive to carrageenan than the general population. Several studies have specifically examined this group and found more pronounced effects. If you have an existing digestive condition, carrageenan is worth discussing with your healthcare provider. Some people report digestive symptoms, bloating, loose stools, gas, when consuming carrageenan-containing products. Whether this is a direct effect of carrageenan or of the products themselves is difficult to determine from self-reported data. For the general healthy population, the current evidence does not support avoiding carrageenan as an urgent health measure. But it's a reasonable ingredient to limit if you're already focused on clean label eating. Not because it's proven harmful, but because the evidence is genuinely unsettled and alternatives exist. Where is carrageenan found? The most common sources are plant-based milks, oat, almond, soy and coconut, where it's used to create a creamy texture. Many brands have removed it in response to consumer demand, so label checking is worthwhile. Organic yogurts and dairy products often contain it despite the organic label. Deli meats, processed cheeses, infant formula, chocolate milk and certain soups and sauces are also common sources. If you want to reduce exposure, the simplest strategy is to look for plant-based milk brands that specifically label themselves carrageenan-free. Several major brands have reformulated in recent years. So here's our verdict. Carrageenan is not the dangerous toxin that some corners of the internet claim. The evidence that it causes serious harm in healthy people at normal dietary doses is not strong. But it's also not as clearly safe as regulators have historically assumed. The emerging research on gut microbiome interactions, the 2024 Diabetes Association study, and the ongoing EFSA re-evaluation all suggest that the story isn't over. Our practical take: if you have an inflammatory bowel condition or digestive sensitivity, carrageenan is worth avoiding or at least discussing with your doctor. For everyone else, it's a reasonable ingredient to limit as part of a broader clean label approach, but it doesn't warrant the level of alarm it sometimes receives online. EFSA's re-evaluation over the next few years will be worth watching. If new safety concerns emerge from that process, the regulatory status could change significantly. That's our verdict on carrageenan. Bottom line, the controversy is real, but the certainty on either side is not. Read the label, not the marketing. If this was useful, subscribe. In every video we examine one ingredient, no hype, just the evidence. What ingredient would you like us to examine next? Drop it in the comments below. See you next time.